So let's say you found the skeleton. How would you tell it's a dinosaur? You personally, how would you decide?
Well, interesting question. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that.
Hey everybody, welcome to Dapper Reacts. We are here with Kip, although no Vishanti today. That's why she has been replaced with a Space Marine. But hey, who doesn't like Space
What?
Marines? So
Is that the I'm not looking. What does it look like?
so it's my gameplay footage from Space Marine 2, the one that you thought a few months ago was me live playing the game, but was actually just like a 2-hour compilation of my
okay.
gameplay. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So that's what's happening
Do
in
you
the
ever
middle.
do that?
Do you ever do what?
Do you ever live play and stream at the same time?
Yeah, I've done it. I do it every once in a while.
Okay.
I typically don't.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the time, whenever I'm streaming, I want to give my actual attention to, and unless it's a very easy to play game, I can't do that if I'm playing a game. But there are also times where I'm just like, I'm just hanging out with friends, and I can definitely play like Space Marine 2 or Subnautica or something at the same time. So
see, it's good. It's important because I need to know what it's important to me to know what the kids think. So
I don't think I've ever
thanks, Dapper.
played a game actively with you on stream that I don't remember ever having done it. Which is not me saying that it never happened. I'm just saying, as far as I know, it's never happened.
I don't think it's ever happened. Okay. But yeah.
Well, the first
thing, we're all here.
Yeah. But first, we have a $10 super chat from Metageeky Platypus Librarian, who says, "Have an excellent stream. Unless this local con is a bust, I shall be buying more books I don't need. I needs them, my precious." And Treve says Kirby is Dark Mechanicus heretic with a Mothra and a pelagic tunicate, which gross, but we'll take a drink for the Mothra. Thank you very much. In case you guys didn't know, Metageeky was a Scutarius in my Wrath and Glory game that we played on Top Hats Off last night. And we're going to get at least one more session in, although it's not going to be this next week. We're doing some Star Trek for the next few weeks. And then when everyone's good for another session, we'll take a quick break from that. And we might try to time it around sometimes because at least Chesh has something coming up in the next month or so that she's probably going to need to miss a session for. So we'll probably try to plan it around that and whatnot. So, but yeah, there's more Wrath and Glory to come and more Star Trek to come. But that's not super why we're here. So first of all, Kip,
really,
how you doing?
It's really not. I'm doing fabulous. I'm just having the best week ever, but it's also the craziest week ever. So yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, I'm a little, I'm all over the place right now, but I'm very happy to be here. So thanks, Dapper. Who's this guy? We've seen him before, right? This is not new. I remember something about this from last week.
What do we even? Oh, Carl Kirby, this guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be the guy who tells us dumb things about dinosaurs.
Oh. Hey, listen.
Yes.
I did a stream yesterday. Did you notice? I did a stream yesterday.
I did notice that you did a stream
with Doc Dino.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
I did not because I was
because you're a bad friend.
Well, so a few things was I spent a fair bit of my time yesterday busily preparing to run a game I've never even played. I also went to the mall like it's the 90s. Yeah.
Mall?
The mall. It's like a large building full of stores with a central walkway.
I remember these things. This was like, oh God, there's still those out there.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but there was a mall and there was a game.
So you parked in just so we know, like you parked in a parking lot.
Yes.
And you entered the large building.
Yes.
That had all the stores in it that you could just walk around in.
Yeah.
And oh wow. What was that like?
It was weird. It felt a little bit like it felt a little like nostalgia-y, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it was very strange. And it was really fun though because what I did was I went to a game store that's there, and I think it was Games and Gadget, and this is in Tucson. So it's not a big surprise. People know I live in Tucson. And a guy there, Isaac Muir, whose game development I've been following for several years now, was there giving a demo of the game he's working on. And I found out about this because
Oh,
I'm in
in the
his
mall?
in the mall in the game
Wow.
store because I'm in
Oh.
his Discord for this game project. And so I noticed a notification and was like, "Oh, hey, game demo at the Tucson Mall, this store, whatever." I'm like, "Oh, well, that's like right here. I gotta go." So I got to meet Isaac, and also if you look at my community post, my most recent post is actually about he gave me a couple posters from the game project. And also they both have a QR code, and if you go to my post and you go to the QR code, you can go to the website for that game project. The game is basically the idea is right now he's making sort of a hybrid deck builder TTRPG game, and so when you're in combat, you have a deck of cards that you draw from, and those involve different powers, and you pay resource costs to use those to make various attacks or to enhance
Okay.
attacks and stuff, right?
Oh. Yeah.
And the idea is it's a fantasy game, but you're all playing little bugs, right? So like there's ants and termites and moths and butterflies and bees and stuff and grasshoppers. And one of the things that I really liked was that the combat rules are designed for 1-inch hexes, and the models that he's placed as his example models are all supposed to be about life size for the bug that you're playing as. And with a 1-inch hex, that still works out to be a perfectly reasonable size, like battle grid to play on. And so I like bugs, generally speaking. I also like TTRPGs. I like cards. All of it just seems to be like, oh no, this is a game that is being designed specifically for Dapper to enjoy. So it was a lot of fun to go out there.
Well, that
And
sounds great. So
I went with Bent, got some food court food again, like it was the 90s. So that was weird, but fun and nice.
it almost feels like I feel I'm gonna just go ahead and read this super chat now. Dapper from Joshua Geese for $5 says, "The mall. Did you get a cookie from Mrs. Fields? Pizza from Sbarro."
I didn't. Actually, Bent refuses to get pizza from Sparrow. Yeah, one time.
I respect that choice.
Yeah. Well, he was at a Sparrow once, and he bought a slice or whatever. I don't know the exact story, but they had a sign up that said, "Your meal is free if we don't give you a receipt." They didn't give him a receipt, and he asked for his money back. So instead, they started digging around in like their trash can for the receipt, and eventually
Oh,
he's
and
like,
they
"Are you
made
gonna
up a
give me?"
receipt.
They didn't actually, as far as I know, they didn't give him the receipt or the money back. So he's like, "All right, well, I'm done with
Oh
Sparrow."
God, what a bunch of assholes!
Right?
Holy cow! So, I will remind you that we started talking about the mall because I was telling you about my very exciting stream with Doc Dino yesterday. Because Doc Dino's like a paleontologist,
Mhm.
and we talked about. I've never had a paleontologist on my channel before. So that was it was just super fun. And it was like super interesting because I learned a whole bunch of shit about dinosaurs, which was amazing. And I think everybody should go watch it. It was just such a fabulous, fun stream. We talked about dinosaurs and we talked about the Bible, and it felt like an interdisciplinary research project. It
That is
totally
cool.
felt like that.
Or we'll
I
say
know,
you
right?
titled it there something like "There are no dinosaurs in the Bible," and I disagree. There are plenty of dinosaurs
I
in the
know
Bible.
that was clickbait though. You and like I was doing the
Oh, okay.
clickbait thing.
All right. All right,
Yeah,
we have a
that's
few
all
super
that
chats,
was.
and also it looks like super chats are kind of fixed. It looks like they might actually be fixed, the super chat goal.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we've got a few super chats. Arrow Dodger for 4.99 says, "Question for Kip: in your professional opinion, what are the top 5 saddest anime Bible deaths? Like if you cry every time. Like if you cry every time. Yeah.
What are the top 5 what?
Saddest anime Bible deaths. Have you never seen the anime Bible?
No.
Well, I haven't either. So, uh, Tree Clam Tat for $5 says, "I need to know what the kids think. Kip to a 160 million year old dinosaur. AIG is a tackle box of Zinch. Oof, rough. Take a drink."
Okay, that was super funny. By the way, I couldn't help but notice that Vish Vish was not on my. Cause Vish is away. She's at a wedding. She's having a super fun time right now. So she wasn't on my stream yesterday. I couldn't help but notice that Tad was also not on my stream, because we all know the only reason Tad watches my channel is because Vish is on my channel. So
I mean, why would anyone else ever
thanks,
watch
Tad.
it?
That's it. That's it. That's the only reason.
Mhm.
So that's why I had to get Doc Dino on. And I will say, Tad, you were missing out because, Doc Dino was on my channel. What's that about?
The Screen Geek for €5 says, I'm not going to miss another Saturday stream. I am, however, extremely tired and will probably fall asleep during it. With a crying, laughing face
That's
emoji.
fine.
Is Super Chat still effed?
We
Apparently not. No, they're working right now. So let's see.
I don't know about you, Dapper, but my policy is I don't care whether you fall asleep. It's just the most important thing is that you clicked it on.
Yes,
you
no,
hit the on
that's
button.
definitely true.
Yes.
Dutch Tuna Kid Official for $2 says, do you like mosquitoes? No, I do not like mosquitoes.
Who likes mosquitoes? That's a dumb question. I'm sorry.
Frogs like mosquitoes because they eat them.
Question. That's true. Okay.
Bats
That's
too.
fair.
Bats also.
I
love
feel like
mosquitoes.
frogs. I feel like frogs eat mosquitoes because they hate them.
I mean, maybe, but then again, like, I eat the meat of various animals that I generally like overall. Like,
I understand.
Cattle and
I just think it's
pigs
different for cows.
Maybe,
I
yeah.
almost said cows. I think it's different for frogs.
Okay. Tree Clan Tat for $2 says, AIG steals Legos from the elderly. Like Kip. Yeah, Kip, have you heard about this? The elderly Lego stealing thing?
No, what is going on?
Okay, so I believe this is happening in Utah. An elderly man, has a Star Wars Lego collection estimated to be worth 200,000 US. It is a gigantic collection. Like, huge, right?
That is impressive.
Now,
yeah.
He needs to move, and
like
he's
a house full.
Yeah, he needs to move, and he's also in failing health. So his family decides, okay, well, we'll try to sell these in order to get money to help cover the move and help cover treatment, because America. So, okay. They go to a franchise store called Bricks and Minifigs, which is the largest like resale Lego company, as far as I know, in the United States, right? Huge company,
okay, yeah.
doing millions and millions in inventory deals and stuff like that, right? And so they decide to sign a contract to put this $200,000 worth of Legos up on consignment. The idea is that franchise location will market and sell the Legos, and will take a cut of any sales, and the rest will go to the family, and that during the terms of this, whatever inventory is not sold will remain the property of the family. Then corporate decides, oh, hey, we're changing ownership of this location. And there's footage of them saying, we'll take on the consignment. And then when, the family goes to see what's up with this, long story short, Bricks and Minifig just claims that they own the collection outright, that they have no contract with them, they're not getting any money, and they're not getting their Legos back. And that has been persisting. And now the guy whose Legos they have stolen, or at least the guy's son, has now been trespassed from the store. So they went to small claims court to try to get this settled. Bricks and Minifig did not respond, and so they won a default judgment. And in response, Bricks and Minifig just permanently shuttered that store, which means that because it's a franchise, technically they didn't win a judgment against corporate, so now no one can collect, apparently. That's what they're going with.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Dapper, you're a 160 million year old dinosaur.
Yes.
Why are corporations so evil?
Oh, it's because the only thing they care about is the bottom line, and that only sometimes lines up with behavior that is pro-social. That's why.
It feels like that was a bad idea.
I mean, yeah.
Corporations just kind of feels like if there was something that we could, I mean, there's so many things that we could, if there's something that we could go back and redo. I feel like this would make a fundamentally immeasurably good difference is if we could go back and just undo corporations.
Well, the thing is, I don't think that realistically you could, because something that is effectively a corporation would come to exist anyway. Because you got to remember, the fundamental thing that a corporation is a group of people who say, "Hey, we would like to be able to pool our resources for economic activity without
Okay,
it
all
needing
right,
to
so
have
that's
like
fair.
18
Yeah.
million different ownership contracts." And so the idea is, you buy a share in the corporation, and the corporation owns assets, and when you sell your share, that also transfers your part of the assets. And that is such a basic fundamental thing of economic corporation in
That's
any
fair.
system with money that it's just going
Yeah.
to happen anyway. But the question
Okay.
then is, okay, well, what things
They're
do
doing
you
it
allow a
badly.
corporation to do? And apparently the answer is just like whatever the fuck they want. Oh, I just dropped
Whatever
a
the
one.
fuck they want. That's it. That's
Yeah.
just what we're letting
No
them
more
do.
F-bombs.
That's it.
And yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
Listen, I feel like that one.
No, it was worth it.
Was earned.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
True frogs are different. You know about the
Did you say
know
it
about
too?
the eyes? Says
I
Neuromatopus.
feel like we were saying it at the same time.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Neuromatopus, I
Did you hear that?
don't know if I do know about the eyes. I did hear the horn. All right, but so what I'm going to do is tell you guys what's up with the super chat. So apparently super chat goals are working again. It should be any color super chat works, and there's a 2-tier goal here. At 25, I will drop a Steam key for Inquisitor Martyr, which is a top-down hack and slash action RPG set in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. So I have a Steam key for that. Also, if you scroll up towards the top of this chat, I dropped a link for a 1-year subscription to my Patreon that was purchased by Egyptomaniac, and she wanted to just have whoever got it, get it. So basically, she just wanted to give me an extra Patreon membership there. So I don't know what tier it's at, but if you grab it, have a 1-year membership. So that will give you a year-long access to the Discord server, early access to my videos, all that good stuff. And then, of course, if we get to the super chat goal, which is 50, we will do a reading from English as She Is Spoke, and we'll be able to drop more F-bombs, more than the 2 that we just dropped. So in the meantime, though, the time has come that it is time to talk about Carl Kirby, who has just told us that apparently fossils of dinosaurs aren't completely permineralized because they contain bits of soft tissue, which is true-ish, and that therefore that makes them not fossils or something. That's not clear.
I feel especially well positioned for this stream today because of all the stuff I learned from Doc Dino.
Oh, nice.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, apparently this was
Although
not
we
happening...
didn't talk about soft tissue stuff. We cut that part out. But anyways.
Also, apparently it wasn't happening in Utah. That's just where like corporate is for them, I guess. I'm not sure. Guys, don't trust me as your source for this. Other people are making much better videos about this, especially people who are in like the Lego community, because I don't think I own a single Lego set. So like, don't trust me about this.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a bit of a surprise.
I've looked at Lego sets, but like they're currently too expensive.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
I have a son who's a Lego collector, and it is insane. It literally is insane. The amount of
this
money
morning, I was thinking maybe I'll get a cut of beef, and I looked and I was like, nope, I am priced out of the beef market for now. There was a brisket for $96.
Wow.
I'm not paying $96 for a brisket. It's just not going to happen.
No.
And I was actually thinking like, oh, it would be nice to do a big brisket, like do a really low slope. No, not for $96. Mm-hmm. There's no way I'm getting $96 worth of food out of that. Noise Ending for $5 says, more F-bombs. AIG is a bag of corporations. I'll take a drink for that.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Jillian Run for $2 says, for more swearing at bad people with a Mothra. I'll take a drink for that too. Thank you. All right, so here we go.
Now, there are many that are rock and almost solid rock, but guess what? Almost every fossil that you find on the inside, they're still organic material.
So that's actually not true. What has been true is that organic material is widely seen, but not commonly seen, right? It's sort of like, okay, there's about 200 countries out there, right?
Right.
Now, let's say that across the entire world, every single one of them had 3 McDonald's. In a few places, that's going to be a lot of McDonald's, like Monaco or Vatican City
Right.
or San Marino or something, right? Or Singapore.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not
right,
Singapore.
Yeah.
But in most places, that means that there's not a lot of McDonald's there. And it
Like
also means
Canada.
yeah. It also means that basically anywhere you go, you can probably find a McDonald's if you really need to. But it doesn't mean they're common. They're really not common if that's the scenario that we're working with. And it's kind of like that, right? Basically, anywhere in the fossil record you go, there's a fair chance that you're going to be able to find something with some soft tissue. But it's still very rare and not very common. Goopdo3 sends a blank $1 chat. Thank you very much, Goopdo3. And as I like to remind people, Goopdo3 has been on the channel. We did a Leaving Young Earth Creationist episode, or Leaving Young Earth Creationism episode, back when I was still doing those, before I had like 5 people flake out on me in a row. So that's why I don't do those anymore. Yeah, but no, it was a good conversation. I will say, actually, speaking of Star Wars Lego, my brother's wedding was lightly Star Wars themed, and then coincidentally, my brother-in-law, or what was it? My sister, on behalf of my brother-in-law and their kid, brought a Star Wars clone trooper that my brother-in-law has been taking with him on various travels, like a travel gnome to take a picture of, for his kid who's into Lego Star Wars. So there was a coincidental Star Wars Lego commando, or what was it, clone trooper, there it is, that was there. So a number of the wedding photos have the clone trooper minifig in the photo. Sometimes even front and center. It's very adorable.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That is really cute.
Victoria Macarios for €2 says, "Woohoo, super chat." I do appreciate it. Actually, hey, speaking of Doc Dino, he's going to be on my channel tomorrow. So
He said that.
Yeah.
That's right.
yeah. All right, here we
He's
go.
streaming. He's streaming today, I think, actually, after you.
My
So
goodness.
people should go check that out.
I'm also streaming today after me. So
Oh, well, okay, don't do that, people.
No, it's much after.
Don't. I'm sorry. I'm
going to be on Chesh's channel after this, but much after this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're doing our
It's a busy day.
yeah.
I don't know where people are going to find the time to get everything in today. Because
well,
I'm streaming today still, too.
They'll just have to play everything on ×2 speed.
That's it.
Yeah. Because that helps
you guys can do it.
Yeah. Especially on live streams. It actually helps you time warp into the future.
Yes.
Zelane22 for $2 says, "Y'all slacking on the likes. Come on now." Uh-oh, are we slacking on the likes? Because I don't have it currently up in front of me. We are slacking on the likes. Help me out, guys. All right, here we go.
I did not like the
Excuse
stream.
me. This is 68, 70 billion years old. This is 130 million years old. This is 110 million years old. How does organic material last that long?
Oh, okay. That's
Sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Hold on. Did he say this is 60 to 80 billion years old?
He did,
I hear?
but then he quickly went to million, and I'm assuming that he just misspoke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was like these are 60 to 80 billion years old, comma, these are what did he say next? 100 and something
10 million.
Yeah.
Oh, did I miss
So
a
I
super chat from
couldn't
Naron
tell.
Pickles?
You might have, because I just read one of them, and it probably threw you off.
I read about the frog swallowing. Oh, frogs swallow their eyes or something, which do ours. Oh, I did know about that. I just didn't know that was a thing that was diagnostic of like some special group within like Rhinoidea. Kip doesn't even know about Rhinoidea.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Kip, one of these days we'll turn you into a taxonomist, and you'll be able to spit words like Ripidistia
okay.
and Osteichthyes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You do what you feel you have to do.
All right. Well, we're gonna force feed you taxonomy. That's what we're gonna have to do.
It doesn't. You see, guys, there's different ways of looking.
Oh, right. I forgot to actually talk about how does it last that long. Right. So the secret is this thing called cross-linking, actually. And it turns out that under good conditions, not necessarily even ideal, but under reasonably good conditions for the preservation, if organic molecules are cross-linked, they can last essentially indefinitely. And what cross-linking means is, so organic materials generally like starches or carbohydrates, sugars, proteins. All of these are chains of monomers. So they're basically all polymers of one type or another, right? So carbohydrates are chains of sugars. Proteins are chains of amino acids, right? So the way this works is normally this chain goes down a row, right? One to the next, to the next, next, in a long chain. And the chain might fold up, but fundamentally, it's essentially a one-dimensional structure where each thing has a chain of some monomer that you can isolate and say that's the next one in the chain. Okay, cool. Cross-linking takes this chain of monomers, this polymer, and links it in extra places along that. And what that means is, while you still will have some breakup, like the chemicals that we're discovering in these soft tissue finds aren't the original chemicals. They're decay products, but they're stable decay products. And they're larger and more complex and give us more protein information than you would normally expect from something this old because of the cross-linking. And so what cross-linking does is essentially it says, okay, there are new, more complex and larger stable forms for these molecules to take now. And that's how that works. And the same mechanism is how formaldehyde works, right? We have specimens in museums in formaldehyde that are centuries old, and they look like the day that they, well, not the day, but they look like they were a few weeks after they were put in the formaldehyde. Because things do shrivel a bit and tighten up when you put them in formaldehyde. But like once that happens, that's it. They're going to be that way basically until you pour off the formaldehyde and let it all evaporate away, which as long as you keep the thing sealed and top it off when necessary, won't happen. And they stay soft and pliable. You can take like a shark preserved in formaldehyde 200 years ago, take it out of that jar, and it will still just move around like it was fresh. I mean, you'll have to move it obviously because it's dead, but like, yeah. And so this is also happening in the fossil record, but the chemical that's doing the cross-linking isn't the same. It's usually iron, because iron can also perform cross-linking interactions with things like proteins. But what creationists will often do is ignore the cross-linking entirely and also pretend that's what has been found is original intact proteins, which is never what's found. They'll say things like, oh, we found hemoglobin. You read the paper, and what was actually found was heme-derived porphyrins, which means not the hemoglobin, just the heme part of the hemoglobin, which means we're already missing several of the proteins that go into the hemoglobin complex. And then the heme itself is not intact. It's been broken down into smaller molecules. And that's what was found.
Okay.
And they'll tell you, oh, no, it was hemoglobin. No, that's not even close to true. So that's what's going on there. Now,
Wow.
I don't think
I
Carl
see.
Kirby is smart enough to know all of this stuff, because Carl Kirby is definitely not a scientist. And to be fair to him, he doesn't claim to be. However, he is giving these talks in not just his own church, but also, as here, in other churches that he's visiting, which means he
That's
needs
what
to be
he's
responsible
doing.
for it. Yeah. So if you're going to
Yeah.
go give a talk on something, you need to know what you're talking about. And if you don't, even if there's a good reason that you don't,
Kinda
I'm still
do.
going to call you out on it. So,
Yeah.
you know, like
fair,
if Kip
right?
for some reason decided to go give a talk on like amniote taxonomy and got a whole bunch of stuff wrong, I'd call him out if he was giving
That
that as a
sounds like
public
something
talk.
I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking at these things, they'll tell you that fossils are something that take long time. You know, the mineralization come down in a long time, and it gets rid of the organic material.
Is that because that's true? Is that why they say that?
It's usually true. Fossilization,
Okay.
like the time for permineralization, which is what he means by fossilization, varies. It's usually a fairly long process, but creationists will often conflate how old a fossil is with how long it took to permineralize, which is another problem that they have.
Okay.
So they'll say like, oh, this 65 million year old dinosaur bone, you think it took 65 million years to turn into rock? Like, no. Probably like a few 100,000 years, more likely, maybe a few tens of thousands, depending on the environment. So they like to conflate the idea of the long age of a fossil with the long time for permineralization.
Right.
But permineralization usually does take a very long time, but it doesn't always, because there are certain chemical conditions which can accelerate that. So things like, also even physical conditions, like, like what's the heat and the pressure and the oxygen levels and all this stuff can all have an effect on how fast a piece of organic material turns into stone. So, yeah.
Okay. Turns it into a rock. That's not true. That's not true at all. You know what the fossils...
I have a prediction. I
It's
think
not true at all, is what he said.
I mean, okay, it is. But I think what he's going to show us is some some
Oh,
objects with
I,
calcium concretions on them.
I've seen this. So he's gonna show us like the petrified hat
I think
and
there's a chance of that. Now it's been a while, and I
yeah,
don't
and the
remember
boot.
everything that's happens in this because I only watched. So I watched this originally on like 2.5 speed while playing a video game because that's how I scout new videos because it helps me figure out, okay, is this even something that's worth talking about? And I can usually tell
Yeah.
with that, but it also means that I don't remember everything, so it's still like I'm coming at it fresh. And it also means I get to play a
True.
video game. So it's like it's win-win-win, really. It's how I can stand watching
Yeah.
this stuff unfiltered before I start scripting also. Because my god.
Very good. Yeah.
And Stevens has just gifted 5 Dapper Dinosaur memberships. Thank you so much. I'm going to take 5 drinks while Kip explains to you what his favorite dinosaur is.
My favorite dinosaur is the Albertosaurus because it's from Alberta, is where it was.
You don't even live
is
in
where
Alberta.
it was first discovered and named. And they're just very, very cool. Am I correct? Arthropods. They're
not arthropods.
like
no.
a. Okay, sorry.
Albertosaurus is not an arthropod.
But they're like. They're not? Okay.
No, it's a
I'm
dinosaur.
sorry. Okay. But they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're like an avian dinosaur,
theropod.
right?
They're theropods.
Theropod, that's it. Thank
There
you.
it is. Okay.
Thanks. I'm good at this stuff. I as I said to Doc Dino yesterday, I just have no idea about anything. So I don't understand why Weirdo Rock. Oh, it's because I live in British Columbia. Yeah, but it just it's I was born and raised in Alberta, and I've just always considered myself a transplanted Albertan. So,
All
but the Albertosaurus, right, is like it's a memorialized symbol of Alberta, and
That's
they have
fair.
an amazing. They actually have 2 amazing Albertosaurus fossils at the Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology in Drumheller. One of them is like reconstructed and like standing in the gallery. The other one is just the coolest thing. It's like at the entrance of the museum in this great big display. And they just cut the rock sort of around it to expose the skeleton, and then just left it like that, so it's all like twisted up, and it's so cool. It's just so cool.
All right, but we need to go find everyone go find a dinosaur in BC, and we'll name it British Columbiasaurus.
Yeah, they can't do that because I don't know. BC's kind of this is kind of a poser province. I'm not gonna lie.
That doesn't mean there aren't dinosaurs there.
Oh, I know, but they can't name things after. No, it just
they can.
It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be the same.
Watch them. British Columbiasaurus Vancouverensis.
It's dumb. It sounds stupid.
It does sound stupid.
It's just really.
That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. There are multiple species named after Barack Obama, and all of them sound kind of stupid. And there's also a species named Han Solo, which also sounds kind of stupid.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Dutch Tunicate official for $2 says Kip looks at spider. Is this a theropod? Yes.
I'm sorry. Hey, look, I'm a biblical scholar, and I'm very comfortable with the fact that I'm just getting all this shit wrong. Okay?
I don't think anyone's actually angry at you, Kip, so I don't think you have to apologize.
No,
I think it's fine.
Good. That's good.
Let's see. Arrow Dodger for $4.99 says soft tissue, and their description of it is vague enough for one to imagine that a buzzsaw was taken to the rock and fresh blood poured out. That is correct. Is everything okay?
I hope so. Sorry.
All right. If that changes,
my phone's going crazy.
It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Prove ultimately depends on your worldview. Let me ask.
No. Okay. First of all, fossils don't prove anything other than that fossils exist, right? Because that science isn't about proof. However, there are worldviews which are incompatible with the evidence, and young Earth creationism is one of them. There is no way that you can legitimately interpret this evidence without contradicting yourself and without lying, and come up with a young Earth position unless you just ignore large amounts of the evidence. And by large amounts, I mean about 9/10 of it. As has been shown in The Rocks Were There, which is a book co-authored by R.J. Downard
Yeah, I've
and
heard of
Jackson
that
Wheat.
book.
Yeah. They went in there and they actually checked and said, okay, how much of the available data at the time that these creations were talking about this actually ends up showing up in their sources and being addressed? And the answer is they only ever talk about 10% of the data in any given field. So,
Wow.
Metageeky for $2 says, I return.
That's
Is
wild.
AIG
That's
still an
just
aubergine collective? And they still are an aubergine collective, and I'll take a drink for it. Thank you very much. I am once again drinking some mango cider because it's tart.
Ask you a question. Christian and non-Christian, do we have the same stars?
I'll say yes. I'll say yes to that.
What?
Yeah. Christians and non-Christians have the same stars.
Yes. Okay.
I lost you. Questions require
Right,
responses,
it was a dumb
okay?
question.
Yes, it was.
No
It's a dumb
frozen
question.
chosen. Get rid of it. Thaw out, okay?
Oh, that was a
Don't-
joke that didn't land. Take a
Stop
drink.
asking dumb questions. If you don't ask dumb questions, people will respond better.
I immediately downgrade someone in their estimation of like how reasonable of a person they are if they use the phrase frozen chosen. Because all that means is, how dare Christians have the just sort of normal social norms regarding being an audience? That's it. That's all that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that means. I've never heard that expression before.
Oh, I have, and I'm not happy about it.
Boy.
Christian, non-Christian, do we have the same stars? Do we have the same rocks?
No, in fact. And the reason I say no is because while both Christians and non-Christians exist in the world with the same rocks, Christians who examine rocks in order to affirm anti-science Christian positions, which is not all Christian positions, I will add, do so in part by ignoring 90% of the data of the rocks available, which means that, by and large, Christians are ignoring most of the rocks.
That's fair.
Goop23 for $5 says, there's a beetle named after Mustache Man, and it's been hunted to near extinction by collectors. Okay.
Wow.
I don't like that. For one thing, yeah, you don't really get to change that. There are ways it could be changed, but it's not easy. But also, like, okay, collectors, if you're hunting down a beetle because someone else named it after a terrible person, that's not a good reason to try to hunt something to extinction. Because
it's really not.
The Beatles didn't make that choice.
No.
They're innocent in this.
Very much so.
Yeah, Jillian Wren says, boy, is that not a term Catholics use? Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect it to be a term used by Catholics. It's an extremely Protestant thing. In fact, even going on about chosen is a bit of a Calvinist dog whistle.
Do we have the same people? Why do we understand and explain the...
No, you obviously don't have the same people. Christians and non-Christians are definitively two separate categories. You obviously don't have the same people. What are you talking about, Carl? I'm taking a drink. That's just dumb.
This beetle is a species of blind cave beetle found in only about 15 humid caves in Slovenia.
What is a human cave?
Humid. Sorry.
Humid. Oh, I might have misheard you. I was like,
Yeah.
what is a human cave? These beetles live in people's butts?
I'm slurring my speech.
Are you that drunk already?
I'm not. I'm not at all drunk. I'm not even drinking.
Okay.
Not yeah, but you know what? I'm going to be drinking later.
Okay.
On stream.
Me too.
So come and watch that.
Yeah.
Exact same evidence so differently then. What's that? We have opinions. Yeah. And opinions are impact.
Okay, Carl, the reason that you come to different conclusions is, first of all, generally you don't. Christians, by and large, do not come to different scientific conclusions than anyone else, because most Christians who do science are just doing good science and are not trying to base everything that they're learning on some particular interpretation of the Bible. That's not typical for Christian scientists. By that I mean scientists who are Christians, not members of Christian Science. Different thing there. No Mary Baker Eddy in this discussion. Yeah. No. On the other hand, a small fraction of the Christians who are scientists start with conclusions, and by this that actually, I shouldn't say that they're scientists. I will say this. Actually, I'll say this. All Christian scientists come to conclusions which are compatible and generally in line with science, at least in the science that they're in the scientific field that they're in. Some Christians who claim to be scientists come to science with a pre-selected conclusion based on a particular interpretation of the Bible, which is itself based on unsubstantiated beliefs, and then decide that they will ignore or twist or lie about evidence that does not comport with that belief, and thereby they are not scientists. But they like to call themselves scientists because a lot of times they have degrees and they pretend to write papers. Or sometimes they even do write papers, but they generally do not, when they do that, actually support any distinctive young earth creationist beliefs. So it's not the case that the scientists come to different conclusions. There are scientists who come to conclusions like that the earth is old, that evolution is true, and that non-avian dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago. And then there are non-scientists who LARP as scientists, who publish in fake journals that do not actually have peer review. And those people come to different conclusions, except they don't, though. Because what they did was they started with different conclusions, and then they used as much post hoc rationalization as it took to make it seem like you could come to that conclusion independently, even though you can't. Because remember, post hoc rationalization is not the same thing as coming to a conclusion. It's starting with a conclusion and coming to an argument.
That's exactly what that is.
Okay, Weirdo Rock Hyrax Evan, there it is, for $5 says, Dr. Kip prefers lame provinces with no temperate rainforest islands and no feral sheep living on those islands. Also, AIG is a bag of Mike Johnsons. They sure are. I'll take a drink for that.
Listen, there's a difference between, like, I very much appreciate the many attributes of where I live, while I can also recognize that, you know, the people running this place are a bunch of posers. So, you know, two things can be true at once.
Tell you what, I'll move to BC and I'll run for Premier.
Office.
I'll run for Premier. And
Premier.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will become.
Do you know how to do that?
I can learn. I'm sure there's a lot of paperwork.
Okay. But the basics, do you know what that means to be the okay.
Oh, you mean what job I would have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more or less analogous to a governor in a state in the United States.
Yeah. So except you don't actually run for premier. Nobody actually runs.
Well, there's where you're
premier.
wrong. See, that's what they want you to think. But in the background, that's where the running happens.
Dude.
Yeah.
No, that's not.
Yeah.
It's so we have we have a parliamentary system here.
Yeah.
So you are voting for the party.
Right.
And the premier just happens to be the leader of the party.
But how do you think you get to be the leader of the party? The party votes for you to be the leader.
You are elected by the party, yes.
That counts as running as for premier.
Do you know sometimes you can be the leader of a party and not even be a member of the legislature or parliament.
But you still had to get elected to be the leader of the party. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my own dinosaur party and become the leader of it.
Oh.
And everyone will become loyal to me and obviously vote for me. And then we'll become so popular that we get elected into a majority of parliamentary seats in the province. And suddenly I'm the premier. I know how that works. I know how parliamentary elections work, Kip.
Do you know where that seat would be located
British
in this
Columbia.
particular province?
Yeah, it's in British Columbia.
Where exactly? What is the specific place?
The land part.
He doesn't know.
No, I
That's
don't.
Fun.
You think I keep the capital city of every province in my brain? I don't even keep all the states in my brain. Well, all the state capitals in my brain.
The capital city of British Columbia is the city of Victoria, which is on an island.
I like Victoria though. I've been there.
And this is cool. It not only is Victoria on an island, but it is geographically located entirely south of the 49th parallel.
Yeah. You say this like I haven't been
which
there.
is yeah. Oh yeah, you were in the Navy.
Yeah.
Is that how you work?
That
Yeah.
is how I got there.
So
Yep.
yeah, you would have been here.
Yep.
Victoria is lovely.
It is.
I love
And
Victoria.
one
very
day I will
much.
be in charge of it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
Yeah. And then I won't be a poser. Broken Jack, who's been a member for 23 months at the tetrapod level, says AIG is a sack of slimy Slanesh snakes with a Godzilla. Gross, and we'll take a drink. All right.
Impact our worldview. You know, what we think. I look at the stars and I think, and I look at this and I think. I think is
Kip, do we believe him that he looks at things and then thinks? Is that a thing he does? What do you
I think so. Insofar as the brain is actually functioning, I will give him that.
Okay. Like neurons fire and give him
but
impressions in his consciousness?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's as
that's
much as I'm credit as I'm allowed to extend.
Yeah, all right. In the broad
As
sense, yeah,
I'm
he
willing
thinks.
to extend. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, but I don't know. In a more nuanced sense, I don't know.
Yeah.
Really
At the broadest sense of thinking, sure, but in any nuanced sense of like actually having coherent thoughts about things or considering things logically, no, not so much.
So let's hear what he thinks.
Okay.
He's thinking about.
a very dangerous combination of words. All right.
I'm sorry, what is this, Beauty and the Beast?
What?
You don't remember that bit from Beauty and the Beast?
I think I got distracted by
Gaston
the chat.
is sitting in the bar, and at some point he says to LeChou, I've been thinking. And then LeChou says, a dangerous pastime. And then Gaston says, I know. And then the song comes in. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was making
remember
a
that.
reference
I love
to
that. That's a great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. No, that's a. Was it LeChou or was it LeFou? I thought it was LeFou.
Maybe it was LeFou, and I'm misremembering the name.
Yeah, could be. But you know what? I love Beauty and the Beast.
Even if it was LeFou, LeChou is better because it means cabbage, and I like cabbage.
That's true. On my Disney Plus
LeFou.
account.
Oops.
Thank you. On my Disney Plus account, because I live with a family and we each have our own individual profile on our Disney Plus account. My icon on my profile is Gaston.
Nice. How many eggs do you eat a day?
Probably less than one.
Okay.
Because I don't have eggs every single day.
Well, to get to Gaston levels, you need to be eating around 60.
I do not eat 6 dozen eggs. I don't.
No, not 6 dozen.
Or was it 5 dozen eggs?
I thought it was 5 dozen, which comes out to 60.
It could be 5. Somebody help.
Yeah, let me know, guys.
Yeah, I think you're right now. I think you're right. It is 5 dozen eggs.
Okay. Which is 60 eggs. So
and he's roughly the size of a barge.
Yeah. Which is kind of scary, because that means that town is filled with giants.
Pretty scary. God damn, right? Because even LeFou is very,
all of them were smaller than him, but not by that much. So like everyone else there has got to be the size of I don't know, a skiff. I don't know, boats. Tea Time Tea for $5 says, this got me to look up geochronology maps of Canada, and compared to the rest of the country, BC is absolutely bizarre. Well, the thing about BC is that it's not like the Canadian Shield. So it's a little odd there.
Because many times we try to think
this is just a spectacular place, like an amazing place.
Yeah, way better than Alberta,
physically speaking. No, I will grant you that. But I have a nostalgic affinity for Alberta,
and that's fair. That's fair.
To God's word and tell God what he meant. We have to be careful with that. Your worldview is...
That's the only option you have when you're reading the Bible, is to tell whatever author you think there is, whether it be God or not, what you think, because you do not have access to the author telling you what they thought. So even if you were being extremely rigorous about trying to figure out what this author meant with exactly those words, and you've learned Hebrew or Greek or Aramaic or whatever, or pre-Yiddish, I suppose, if Ramad is watching, the only option you have with reading any book is to come to a conclusion about what you think it means. Even actually, if you do have the author, right? Like if the author steps in, Kip is an author of a book, allegedly. And if I ask him what it means, The problem then arises that I have to interpret his words myself. And even if I ask him to explain those words, I still ultimately have to interpret the words. So
These are things that happen.
the way language
in,
works is
yeah,
I have an
that's
idea
true.
in my head, and it corresponds to certain words in a certain order with certain inflections on them, and then I speak them. And then you take those words in, and they map onto slightly different parts of the world in your brain, although probably usually pretty close, as long as you speak the same language as me. And then you have an interpretation. And ideally, the ideas that we have in our heads are so similar that we don't notice the differences in discussion. But that's not a guarantee. Anytime you've ever had a conversation and had to say, hey, hold on, what do you mean by, and then a word or phrase that person has been using, that is a demonstration of the fact that you do not get to directly transfer meaning between people, whether it be God or not. There are no other options other than to give your own interpretation. It's not a possibility. Now, you might have an interpretation that's very close to what the author had in mind, and I think that's a reasonable goal to get to for things like biblical texts. But also, hey, spoiler alert, the various authors of biblical texts didn't agree with each other on everything, didn't have the same goals, didn't mean the same things. So that's still not going to help all that much in terms of like, what does the Bible say? That's what we should base everything on. It's almost like there's a reason that for both Jewish and Christian history, the idea of just saying, oh, well, let's just read the words of the Bible and then that will settle it, has never actually been an operative thing until very recently in Christianity. Yeah.
True.
There's a reason for that. It's because that's not how anything works.
There is a reason.
And one of the ways you can tell that that's not how it works is because once people got that idea as how they should run Christianity, suddenly the people who had that idea couldn't agree on anything.
That's something that happened. Yeah, it is.
Is the key. Now, I'll illustrate it for you like this. Now, if you haven't caught on by now, mature folk, I'm going to have to ask you for grace. You are
He
not
said
my
mature
primary
folk, right?
Yes, he did. He said it with an odd accent that I'm not familiar with, and he said mature,
Yeah,
but he means mature. Yeah,
It almost sounded like he said mature.
he did.
Folk.
But
Okay.
the word that he's pronouncing there is the word mature.
Mature.
I think
yeah.
this is some Midwest accent, and I'm not positive what it is because my linguistic map of the Midwest isn't super great.
Honestly, it sounds made up, but I'll take your word for it.
Demographic. I love you, but I'm not going for you. I want your children and your grandchildren.
That is not a phrase
What
you
the
should
fuck
say.
I'm sorry. I'm
taking
like,
a
what
drink.
is he doing right now?
He's
I
about to do
don't- I
some
don't
kind of
understand.
cringy hello fellow youths thing, and he's apologizing to the old people in advance because he's apparently not interested in the old people.
Okay, got it. That's
they
not
think-
something you should say out loud.
Nope. I get what he means. He means that the
so-
targets of his
so
rhetoric are a couple generations younger, but phrase it better.
Keep those, yes, and maybe it's probably not a bad idea just to go to therapy just in case. Like, just, I feel like it's like this man, regardless of what is going on in his life, could benefit from going to therapy.
Okay, but I'm also going to say this guy is definitely one of those guys who thinks that therapy is gay and for women.
Yeah. 100%. I know he's never going to go to therapy, but
Okay.
I just really, really think he should.
I can't disagree. He probably should. It would probably be best for him.
Probably.
Different. So yes, I speak quickly. I apologize. I am trying to slow it down.
No, he doesn't. But whatever. There's no objective way to assess that other than like words per minute. But whatever.
Yes, I use a lot of images. Yes, I use video clips. Yes, I attempt to use humor.
Okay, dude.
Because this generation thinks different. So,
those damn kids. Those damn kids, and they don't have any attention span.
They like the humor.
You have to give them the jokes and the flashy movies.
Yes, that's right.
I'm just taking a drink.
God, what a...
Hey. Yep.
This is the most... I'm sorry, but this is the most... how do you do, fellow kids? I have seen in some time. Like,
here's a fun fact. Our first bits of literature complaining about the damn next generations and how they don't have no respect and they can't pay attention to anything.
So long ago.
Sumerian. It's in Sumerian, Kip.
Yes. This is a thing. This is the thing that's just always going to be the thing. Oh my god.
At least now it's Gen Z that's killing every industry instead of the millennials. I appreciate that. Thanks, Gen Z, for taking that one from me.
You have been, yeah.
It's like, did you know that the millennials are going to kill the wine
And you
industry? No, they're not.
You can start doing it too now, Dapper.
Oh yeah, I can.
Those
start
damn
complaining.
kids.
Yeah,
so different
man.
from me.
Gen Alpha.
and
I hear
just think,
that
what's
they
wrong?
they think
What's
things
wrong
are
with them.
Yeah, I hear they think that things are fleek, and that scares me and confuses me.
I ask you to show me some grace, and I will try to tone it down a bit. But here's the illustration that I will give you.
Pause it for a second. Because here's how you know that he is not actually talking to the next generation.
It's because he's in a church full of old people?
Because he just said all that. Well, no.
Okay.
It's because he just said all that.
Yeah, the young generation doesn't need that said.
That's it. No.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I mean, have you seen any of his quick apologetics videos?
Never.
They're headache inducing. It's just a bunch of like words, most of which rhyme for some reason, and they then appear on screen, and then they turn like 90 degrees, and you have to like get dizzy as you try to follow the text on screen.
Look,
and then when you think about what he just
saying
said,
that.
No, I'm not. It's true.
No. I was gonna. Sorry, I was interrupting you, but I was gonna finish. But you're just saying that. You just think that because you're not hip to the new generation, Dapper. You don't understand. He does. He knows.
Prixie Purple, who's been a member for 27 months at the Tetrapod level, says, what is the Sumerian damn kid citation? I don't know it off the top of my head. But
I don't know
Dr.
either.
Josh would be the guy to
he might know. But there's a shit ton of Sumerian literature, so I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't know either. So offhand, but he's the best source for finding it.
Yeah, because I'm getting this like secondhand from Sumerology.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about the live stream is like, hey, check on me, because like I don't always have sources to hand for the live streams. That's why I also put lots of sources on my scripted videos, is because I had the time to go and check sources and gather information.
Your worldview impacts the way that you see things around you. Like, what is that?
Okay, everybody, what is that? Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
Kip, what do you think that is?
That's I'm trying to remember is that a stegosaurus? It's like or it could be a different kind of bird thing. It looks like it could be a few different things. I just all my eyes see right now is the outline of like a dinosaur against like a sun or an egg yolk. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's supposed to be a triceratops, but that he will reorient it to make it look like a chicken.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking too, right? Like I'm part of the way to the chicken. I'm just not all the way there. But I can see it in there.
Questions require a response. What is that? It's a what? An upside down chicken.
There you go. Yeah.
The crazy thing here is that actually does not look very much like a chicken.
It really doesn't. It's like, what is happening on the top of that chicken's head?
Yeah. So I think what this is actually a better illustration of is the fact that if you're willing to, you can draw conclusions badly and then reorient all that data to a different orientation that it never should have been in, and then it will look badly like what you would prefer it to be. So if anything, this is an illustration of how pseudoscience works, right?
Yes, very good.
Bad data in the first place, and then we twist it around until it looks like nothing like it actually indicates, and then suddenly we have something that kind of looks like how you want it to look, unless you actually investigate it at all, in which case, no, it doesn't. So
I think it's important. Good? I was going to say, I think this comment is particularly important and relevant. Sapphire Big Swamp Denier Light says that is a drawing.
There's that. Yeah, we're gonna go full ceci n'est pas un pipe
Yeah.
on this one. Yeah, French, everybody.
Pareidolia.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that wasn't pareidolia. That was a painting of a pipe with the label. This is not a pipe.
Wait,
are
what
you
are we
are you
talking about
unfamiliar
now?
with ceci n'est pas un pipe?
No, I am totally.
Okay, so it's a famous painting of a pipe.
I don't know how we got here.
And the label, because
Okay.
you said it's a drawing, and the point of ceci n'est pas un
Right.
pipe
Oh,
is that
okay.
it's a painting.
right.
It's not actually a pipe. And the idea is to draw your attention to the difference between the artistic rendition of a thing and the thing itself.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You're right.
Well, that's why in 2 weeks the title of the stream is "Ceci n'est pas un homme intelligent." This is not an intelligent man. It's a play on that.
So depending on the way that you look at that is going to determine what you see in it. Your worldview is absolutely like you will look at.
Oh, this is stolen AIG art. I'm taking a drink for the stolen AIG art. Amazing. That's a Dan Latha drawing.
That's hilarious.
Man.
Yeah.
He's like their in-house
Yeah,
cartoonist.
he is, and he's got such a distinctive style.
Yep.
That and I would say I mean I guess I can say like good for you for that, like for having such a distinctive style that it is immediately obvious.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and I need to refresh my drink. And in the meantime, please enjoy the musical stylings of one Benthoven. I should actually have had the Star Trek teaser trailer ready to go, but I did not. I suck. So there you go.
All right.
We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Thank you for sticking with me, those of you who did. Also, make sure you do hit like. And before we get back into this, I do want to say, first of all, thank you so much for watching. What else I want to say? I was having the algorithm was being nice, and I was doing pretty well on a lot of metrics. And then this month, last few weeks, not as much, and it's kind of annoying. So, first, I do want to give the whole like, hey, if you like what I'm doing here, please check out the Patreon, check out the channel memberships. Those give you early access to videos. Sorry. They give you access to my Discord server. It's a really fun time, I think, in there, and there's the Discord server and getting early access. It's a lot of fun, I think, for a lot of people. So please do check those out, and they really help. But also, please watch some videos of mine. Give the channel some watch time. If you're on mobile, hype some videos when they come out. Especially if they're newer videos. Like the old videos, obviously always still help, but new videos have been getting a little hammered, and I think it's because it seems like the algorithm might have shifted to prioritize channels who have a high viewership on new videos. So, and that's not just for me. Any channel that you want to support, try to watch their newest videos as often and as like soon after they come out as possible. And like some videos, like this one, share some videos. That really helps. Comment, because it is rough. Every once in a while, YouTube likes to just make it tougher to be on YouTube, which is baffling to me, given the fact that without their creators on YouTube, there would be no YouTube. And yet,
nothing.
Yeah, it seems like every few months they're just like, what if we just made it harder to be on YouTube for anyone other than giant corporations? And it's like, well,
Yes.
then YouTube becomes less useful for everyone. What are you talking about? So it seems like this is one of those times. So yeah, please help out with that. And honestly, I'm doing a lot of stuff on the channel in the next few days because it is an end of the month blitz. Because, well, most of the stats are a little down. And some of the stats are a fair bit down this month. So I am trying. And it's been a struggle. Actually, most of this year has been a little rough. It's been an uphill battle to keep the channel momentum. And yeah, and I mean, look, like even the streams, they've gone down on average in viewership right now, as opposed to like 2 months ago. And yeah, it's rough. It's a rough time. And I know that everyone is having a rough time, and it's not just me, so I understand. But yeah, if there's anything you can do and you want to keep this going, because I think there is some value to this channel. I think there's a value to the community of growing around it, and I would prefer that to stay around as long as absolutely possible, and I plan to stick around as long as I possibly can. But the more people pitch in, the more people help, the more people share, the more people like, the more people view, the longer that as long as possible can be. So that is where I will leave that. And this is not time to have the Dapper pity party, so don't then, like, oh, I'll get well soon, Dapper. There are always rough patches. And this year has been a bit of a rough patch overall for everyone, I think, and I have definitely felt it myself too. And YouTube does not like to help. So, there you go. All right, enough of that. Let's get back into this.
Something, and depending on where your starting point is, will determine on what you see. There's a wonderful sign in Bozeman, Montana, at the Dinosaur Museum there, and I will give it to you verbatim because I have memorized it.
Do you know which dinosaur museum this would be in Bozeman, Montana? Do you think this is
sure.
like a legit, credible museum, or do you think this is like a bullshit backwater, like creationist nonsense?
I don't know. So here's one thing, right? There are enough museums in the United States that are legitimate museums with dinosaurs that saying the Dinosaur Museum has a very low chance of me knowing what that means. Because there are just so many of them, and many of them are great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that means they're low quality. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, the country has hundreds of millions of people, and it's one of the best places to dig up dinosaurs in the world. So there's just a lot of museums with dinosaurs, just so many. And so, yeah, I have no idea. There are far fewer creationist museums, and I'm suspecting that he's going to be quoting this sign because he thinks it's antagonistic to him in some way. I'm suspecting this is a real museum, if not maybe a major one.
Okay. All right. Let's hear it.
It's the greatest sign that I've ever seen in a secular museum.
All right. Well, that answers that question.
There we go.
Science without physical evidence is opinion.
Yeah, that seems like a reasonable statement to me. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right. I had.
Oh, it's the Museum of the Rockies? Okay, I do know about that museum. Yeah, that's a very famous museum. Museum of the Rockies. Why not just call it the Museum of the Rockies?
Right.
All right, whatever.
Because he doesn't want you to go there, right? He's trying hard to not patronage the wicked secular humanists.
You're probably right, and it's stupid. I'm taking a drink for it.
Yeah.
Jeez, I need some alcohol to deal with that.
And opinion is not science, even if it's the opinion of a scientist.
Yeah, scientists are wrong about a lot of things. There's a whole phrase called
absolutely true.
Nobel disease, where people win a Nobel Prize in some field, and then they go on to do absolute bonkers nonsense in other fields because they think that they're the best ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We do not have an evidence problem.
I mean, you do, because we have evidence that you don't deal with most of the evidence. So
exactly. The problem really is the evidence, isn't it?
It really is.
I mean, for you.
We have an opinion problem.
No, because all the things that you disagree with that are the that are the consensus in science are not opinions. They are the consensus because they are where the evidence points as of now. That's how something becomes a scientific consensus, right? And the scientific consensus is not always right. But what it is the most likely explanation given the current evidence. And as new evidence comes in, that can change the consensus. And scientific consensus change somewhat regularly, right?
It's hard to do.
Yeah, it requires evidence.
It is hard. It is hard work.
Yeah.
To shift the consensus. I'm not a scientist, but it's the same thing in my field.
Mm-hmm.
There is a preponderance of evidence and data that points in a particular direction, and if you want to shift the thinking of that direction, then you have to essentially provide a better case, which usually requires a fundamental. If you're not going to include new evidence per se, it includes, what you need to do is convince people to shift their thinking about it, and that's hard. It's very difficult to do.
Yep. But what you do, the way you do it, is with more evidence.
Yes.
It's not with less evidence, or which is what creationists do.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is where the worldview comes in.
I just noticed something. The two guys on the thing that say dinosaur and bird, they both agree it's a dinosaur. It's like having two guys saying like lizard, iguana. Like, yeah, you agree.
Yes.
This is not a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
We can look at these things and see them completely, totally differently, even though it's the same evidence. This is another piece of truth that I got, T-Rex fossil here.
Well, most of it's not the fossil, if I remember correctly. Although, actually, no, that might be Sue. I think it is Sue, in which case it is mostly the fossil, but not the skull. I believe the skull is a cast, because can you imagine trying to hold up that much rock?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I think that's Sue.
Are you really?
No,
okay.
I'm not sure.
The room looks small to me.
Well, there is more than one Sue cast that's out there.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
Yeah, that is Sue. It is Sue.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It's the Field Museum in Chicago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, I double-checked. I was right. Hooray, I did it. I get to keep my dinosaur card for today.
And take a listen to what
is that true? Sue's skull was crushed?
I mean, most dinosaur skulls are crushed to some degree.
What is that? What do you mean?
They're big 3D objects that are being sandwiched under several hundred metric tons of rock above them. They get crushed.
Okay. All right. So these are reconstructions and okay.
You gotta put them back together.
They're not replicas they're like reconstructions.
Yeah, but when you make a reconstruction, you start basically with actual like replicas of the bits,
Oh,
and you're putting them
100%.
together.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Nothing at all wrong with a reconstruction. As you know, as somebody who works, again, different field, but
There's overlap.
I do this all the time, right? Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
methodological overlap, maybe not subject matter overlap.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Truth is about these bones. The truth is that even if you find a totally complete dinosaur skeleton, you can't just string it together. To do that, you'd have to know exactly how its muscles, cartilage, and ligaments were arranged, and those are gone forever. Any reconstruction is a hypothesis.
Wait a minute. Isn't that kind of ass backwards? Am I wrong in thinking that's kind of ass backwards?
Explain what you mean.
Reconstructing, starting with the muscles and the tissues and the organs, and then reconstructing the skeleton around that seems
No. What he's saying
like,
is that the skeleton can't just be strung together in a particular order, because until basically bones aren't in direct contact with each other, right? They're always
Right.
separated by bits of soft tissue. But since the soft tissue generally
Yes.
isn't preserved, you can't know how close everything's going to be together. But the problem is that the range of possibilities is not unconstrained. It's actually very tightly constrained, right? Like, we can't posit like 30 feet of cartilage between two vertebrae in the T-Rex. Like, it's not a plausible option.
Hey, can I tell you something that I learned yesterday? That it's not, it made me think of this just because I like, this is so amazingly cool to me that I never knew before. But in my stream with Doc Dino yesterday, I learned that we know what dinosaurs were eating on the basis of examinations and tests that they do for isotopes on the teeth.
Yep. Also, the
Like,
fact that
wow.
or the idea that we don't have soft tissue preserved in these cases is not always true, because there is a phenomenon of dinosaur mummies in which not only the bones, but some of the soft tissue have been permineralized. One of the most famous ones is a
Right.
hadrosaur named Leonardo, or nicknamed Leonardo.
Okay.
Which is complete enough to the point that not only did they know what it was eating, they didn't need isotopes. They looked in its stomach. So it's also not entirely true that we just have no idea and we'll never know what the soft tissue conditions were. Because increasingly we've been finding rare examples of preserved soft tissue, whether permineralized in terms of like bulk soft tissue, like Leonardo, or not in the case of things like, little bits of broken up collagen fibers from medullary bone or whatever.
And that's why when you go back and you watch the 1920s, not saying any of you are old enough to have watched them be made or anything, but if you go back to the 1920s movies and see dinosaurs the way that they were constructed and compare them with the way that they are constructed today, they are completely and totally different.
Yeah, but Carl, my guy, that's mostly because we didn't have as many skeletons then, and we found more. And the ones that we found didn't fit into our older hypotheses. And so we did that thing that science does that you refuse to do, which is to update our beliefs on the basis of new evidence. That's a reason to trust science and what the paleontologists are telling you, not a reason to not trust them. So let's just take a drink for science adapts to new information and corrects itself, therefore is untrustworthy. Because Hoo-Boy is at the exact opposite of how that works. T Time T says that Sinosauropteryx in amber. I'm not sure what you're referencing. I mean, were there there was a baby dinosaur. Was it a Sinosauropteryx that was partially in amber? Like a tail. Had some feathers. I wasn't sure if it was Sinosauropteryx. Maybe it is Sinosauropteryx. I'm just forgetting that. I can't hold all the fossils in my brain.
They're too heavy.
What's up? Oh yeah, they are too heavy. It's true. Plus, my dinosaur brain, it's very, very efficient, but it's not that big.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know. And now, as more scientific research is done, they're finding, well, they used to show the T-Rex standing upright with the tail dragging as they walked, if you watch the early movies. Not anymore. They show them leaning forward.
Hey,
Oh,
hey,
oh,
Carl.
why would that be, Dapper? Why would that be? Could it be because, we're taking some of our I feel like it has something to do with understanding the relationship between dinosaurs and birds has contributed to this change.
Yeah. So one thing is we found more bones, and that constrains the ways that we can reconstruct the bones that we have. Because the more you find, the more constrained your reconstructions become, which means the more accurate they're becoming. Further, we found dinosaur trackways since then, and you know what they don't have?
Oh,
Tail
yeah.
drag marks.
Tail drag marks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we have evidence of dinosaurs that are structurally similar to T-Rex, even if we can't tell that they're T-Rex exactly, and none of them are dragging their tails, well, then tail dragging reconstructions become unlikely. And actually, one of the ways that we are constrained in our reconstruction is that having the tail of a Tyrannosaurus drag behind its body requires you to break the spine in this tail, which seems like an unlikely thing for an animal to be doing it as a habitual thing. It's just have a broken spine and walk around that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, and for $6.66, My Unfinished Journey says, Hail Nero, hail Daps and Dr. Kill, and hail self-correcting science. Exactly.
And the tail acted more like a seesaw, to keep them level.
I mean, I don't like the analogy, but it's not wrong, so sure. Because the thing about seesaws is they're not supposed to be held like perfectly equal. You're supposed to go back and forth, which is kind of the
Right.
opposite of holding it
Yeah.
level. But
Sure.
it is counterbalanced, which so are seesaws. So like, sure, whatever.
It's a lot of imagination. I'll give you a perfect.
Which part of that is imaginary, Carl?
Really? Yeah.
Because we have the muscle attachment points, we have the trackways, we have the bones. We, in some cases, actually do have dinosaur mummies. Which part are you imagining? We're just making up.
What I'm trying to figure out here is so does he think is this his way of saying I'm just non-committal to whether or not dinosaurs drag their tails or if they were postured with the tail as I guess counterbalanced, right, to the I don't know how else you call this, but like, is he saying I'm non-committal to that because it's all just it's all just your opinion, man? Is that what he's saying? It kind of sounds like that's what he's saying.
So I think what he's doing is he's just trying to set up a don't trust science bit. I don't think he specifically cares about the pose of dinosaurs, and I don't think he's going to come to a conclusion either.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. This is just God, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Example. I found 3 years ago an Edmontosaurus toe bone, 95% complete, about yay long, juvenile, young person, right?
Kip, how do you feel about Edmontosaurus?
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what Edmontosaurus is?
No.
It's the dinosaur named after Edmonton.
Oh, that one, Edmontosaurus. Yeah, I always just see because I always just thought pronounced it Edmontonsaurus.
But it's not though. There's no N at the end of it.
No, I can hear where I'm mistaken there, and
Okay.
I feel very. I mean, you know how I feel about this. Like the Edmontosaurus can just go like I can't say it because I'm not allowed to use my F word yet, but they know what they can do.
Yeah. Hey, we're only 5 away from me giving away a Steam key.
Oh, very good.
Young animal. And it was about yay long. We didn't know what it was, though. So what did we have to do?
But hold on, Dapper.
They have literally...
He can recognize that it's a juvenile, right? He's established that. Aren't basically the same principles of investigation at work here to make that discovery as compared to the question of posture? Like, I mean, not exactly, but you're employing from like a I would say like a philosophical or like an epistemological perspective, the same sorts of tools. It feels weird and dumb to me that he's able to recognize that this is a juvenile, and yet is like, who knows? Who knows how? It's just your opinion, man.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I did go through and check, and I was wrong that the tablet in question about complaining about the kids was Sumerian. It is in fact looks like Akkadian, and it is Babylon tablet 456.
Oh, okay.
It also complains that everyone wants to write a book.
In the Akkadian
Yeah.
tablet.
I'm sure that the word book is actually more accurately replaced with like text or narrative or something, but yeah, it seems
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. My unfinished sock for $2 says, "Don't place seesaws on a dino's tail. Like and share." Yes.
Charts, because they have found complete skeletons of certain animals, and we have to take that and go to various charts and compare it with what was found in the past.
Yeah, that's how you... How do I know if this thing is one of the things that has already been found before? Yeah, you check the things that have been found before. Why is this a... Taking a drink. I can't.
That's how this works. Good job.
Imagine thinking that you might need to compare things to previous things.
Yeah.
Admonosaurus, toe bone, right foot, third metatarsal. It's
You know what?
Okay.
It's fine.
It's an amazing thing that you can do like that. But how it was...
I don't understand how that's amazing. What is amazing about the fact that paleontologists decided to write things down so they knew what they were looking for or looking at in the future? That's It's cool, but like amazing. It's like it just gives me like big fork fountain kitchen vibes, right? Like obviously. I'm glad that the forks are there, but like it's not surprising or amazing that they are.
Put back together?
Nope.
Do we know that it did this, did that? There's a lot of speculation, and there's good speculation on that as well. But here's another example. Earth Magazine. Now,
Yeah, see, he doesn't come to a conclusion. He doesn't actually care what the conclusion is.
Yeah.
He just wants to undermine your trust in like experts around science. Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
Yep. And one of the things I want to drive home is like uncertainty is not the same thing as a completely open field with any suggestion being valid, or at least as valid as the next, right? Uncertain, like
So-
Go ahead.
No, finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll.
Okay,
I'll,
so like if I
draw an
say, "Oh,
analogy.
hey, my phone is," I don't know, we'll call that 6 inches tall. Okay, if I say I have a 6-inch tall phone, there's an uncertainty there, and I'll let you know that the uncertainty is probably about like 1.5 inches because I was measuring with a finger and not with an actual measuring tape. But here's the thing: that there is that much uncertainty, which is considerable, is not a good reason for you to think that my phone might actually be 13 millimeters tall, nor is it a good reason for you to think it might be 8 meters tall. There is a constraint on how tall this phone could reasonably be. And Carl Kirby wants to take that uncertainty in exactly how widely spaced certain bones are, or exactly where they would attach, or exactly their life position, and say, like, what do you know? All you can do is start with a worldview. Like, no. There are constraints on those. There are situations that become unrealistic. We know they weren't like having bone-bone interfaces because that's extremely unhealthy and also leaves noticeable wear patterns. We also know that it wasn't like 3 feet of cartilage between every single bone because that's not structurally sound. So we have to go somewhere between enough soft tissue between these bones and connecting them with ligaments and muscles to make the animal like not just be rubbing bones against each other, but also not so much that it just becomes unsound and just collapses in its own weight, right? Somewhere between there is the right answer. And that range isn't very big. That's why basically every paleo artist who comes to a paleo taxon with the same amount of data comes up with somewhat similar minimal amounts of soft tissue. Now, on top of that, they might throw in a bunch of extra stuff like crests and wattles and whatever. That's speculative. But when it comes to like the how much muscle, how much cartilage, how many ligaments, how long are the ligaments, how long are the muscles, they all come to very similar results because there's only so much wiggle room. Metageeky Platypus Librarian for $2 says he didn't find a scrotum humanum with a Godzilla. Do you know about the scrotum humanum?
Okay. No, I don't.
It was the tip of a long bone, so like a leg bone. And
Oh, okay.
you know how there's two little bumps there at the bottom? The bottom of your knee, like at
Yeah,
the top
I
of your
think
knee,
so.
right?
Yeah,
Bottom
yeah.
of your
Okay.
humerus.
Sure. Yes. All right.
Sorry, bottom of your femur is what I meant to say. Sorry, femur. Yeah. So
Right.
that was found, a little broken off thing. This was found in Europe. I don't remember exactly where. But this was before
Oh
dinosaurs
no.
had really been formally described, and no one really
No.
knew what it was. So they decided it was the petrified scrotum of a giant, and it was given the name Scrotum humanum.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
So, okay. So, um in terms of my analogy here. I don't even know if this is so much an analogy, but just an interdisciplinary example of what he's talking about. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm a biblical scholar, and
Wait, you are?
within biblical studies, one of the most prominently featured, like what sort of the backbone of critical biblical scholarship has been for a long time, the theory of the construction of the Pentateuch from a variety of sources. Now, virtually all scholars agree on a few things. One of those things is that the Torah, or the Pentateuch as we have it now, was constructed from different prior sources and cobbled together. There's some difference in thinking on what the sources were and where, at what time this happened, and some of the connective tissue between them, but virtually everyone is in agreement about this, right? Now, when it comes to the way this is structured more generally, or more specifically, I should say, something else that scholars are by and large in agreement on is the identification of two of the sources. One of those is called the priestly source. That is, all the material that that scholars speculate was written by the priestly author, and there is a surprising amount of agreement among scholars about the existence
Drink
of
for
this
Godzilla.
particular source, even if they might not call it the priestly source, they exist. That whatever this is, this was a thing. And then the other one is the book of Deuteronomy, or some form of the book of Deuteronomy, sort of on its own. Now, what happens within a lot of Christian apologetics is that within our guild, within my field of study, beyond these 2 points of agreement, there's a huge amount of discussion and controversy and dispute about other elements of the theories, right? Many Christian apologists will latch onto that and go, I mean, how can we know anything about anything?
Right. As if
because look at all this disagreement among scholars without recognizing the huge amount of consensus that continues to for these basic parts of the larger picture.
And you also get people pointing out that most of the literature is just full of these arguments back and forth. And it's like, yeah, who would want to keep writing papers about what we all already agree on?
Right, exactly. Yes.
Of course there's a bunch of disagreements. That's what scholars do. They're not going to go on and on and on about the parts where we all agree. They already know that. You probably cover that in like undergrad or grad school.
We've settled that, right? Like, let's move on to some other more. Let's help refine our understanding of this thing that we all agree on.
No, you got to keep going on and on and on about how Moses didn't author the Torah. Like, unless all your papers are just like, okay, and now here's another reason that we think that Moses didn't author the Torah. And oh, hey, did you know that Moses didn't author the Torah, just over and over and over and over again?
We're not doing that. No.
Not a Christian publication. Pairing the models with the skulls of which they are based shows how imagination goes into building dinosaurs from the bones up. But in many cases, the bones themselves are reconstructions too, and works of just as much hard thought and imaginative daring as the models they inspire.
Yeah. Look, no one is telling you that reconstructions are the evidence. reconstructions illustrate the evidence for people who are interested in that, right? Because, okay, paleontology is a rigorous scientific field. However, like all scientific fields, it is not immune to the fact that it has to get people interested in the subject, right? And it's hard to do that
Yes.
when all you're showing people are bone fragments. But if what you show them is a depiction of a real animal doing real things in an environment, people pay attention to that. That's interesting. People like that. It makes a good cover for whatever scientific publication you're publishing in. It makes a good illustration as just a, like, hey, read my article in this paper if you put it in there. But no one in the field thinks that Tyrannosaurus had a waddle because some paleo artist depicted it with a waddle. We all recognize that it's possible the T-Rex had a waddle. We don't know. It's possible it had a snood. We don't know.
What's a snood?
It's the thing that droops down from the beak of a turkey. Comes over the beak.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's possible. We don't know. Could have had a comb. I don't know. It could have had all the dangly bits from all the ground fowl that you ever care to imagine, including the little cheek pouchy things that some chickens have. It had all those things. We don't know. And when an artist depicts that, they're killing you. They're giving you a hypothetical, speculative thing, but it's based on what's realistically possible. And no one is going to write a paper about the waddles of T-Rex based on some paleo artist drawing a T-Rex with a waddle. Sorry, go ahead, Kevin.
Right? Yeah, no. I was just going to say, do you know one other amazingly cool thing I learned yesterday from Doc Dino is that the name of the dinosaur that's misidentified as a velociraptor in Jurassic Park. I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember it?
It's based on Deinonychus.
Deinonychus, that's it. Deinonychus. So Doc Dino pulled up a YouTube video of the scene of the velociraptors entering the executive industrial kitchen at Jurassic Park with the kids in it. But then they the CGI artists replaced what was in the film with more realistic representations of Deinonychus. And oh my god. Deinonychus, thank you.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's really scary. Looks really cool.
It's so good. It's
Kip,
so good.
After the show, I will send you a little dinosaur horror short. And if you still think, if anyone ever says feathered dinosaurs aren't scary, you just share that with them.
My god. Yes. Inject it into my veins, please.
I will. Well, maybe not literally.
I'd like to just say at this point too, like when I watched have you watched it yet? The Netflix series, The Dinosaurs, that came out a few months ago?
I canceled my Netflix, so I haven't seen it yet. I have to figure out what to do about that.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Look, they just kept raising the prices, and I kept watching less and less, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
So but it is phenomenal, and they lean into that a lot in that series, is into reconstructing a lot of their dinosaurs with lots of feathers. It's pretty great.
Only 3 more super chats and I can drop that Steam key. I don't want to hold on to it. Nice. I already have that game.
Yeah.
Bones are very rare.
I mean, fossils are rare overall. With a few exceptions, but like I guess, yeah, sure.
Like I told you, 6 T-Rex fossils, very, very rare.
No. That's 6 90% complete fossils is what you said.
Right? Yeah.
We have way more T-Rex fossils because it's not like paleontologists are like, oh, I found a T-Rex bone. Oh no, I only have 40% of the T-Rex. I guess I'll just blow it up with dynamite and move on to the next thing. That's not how anything works. And every one of those less than 90% complete fossils gives you more data about T-Rex. And in fact, it might even fill in gaps that we otherwise didn't have filled in. Because let's say you have a 90% complete T-Rex, right? But part of that 10% that's missing is like, I don't know, like the strap-like coracoid, right? So the coracoid is a shoulder
Yeah.
bone, right? Let's say you just this specimen doesn't have
Okay.
any coracoid bones, and then you find isolated like a 10% complete Tyrannosaurus, right? But it has the
Yeah.
coracoid bones. Well, guess what? You get to know about that other 90% complete Tyrannosaurus that didn't have coracoid. You get to know what its coracoids look like.
Coracoid?
Yeah, you get to know what the
Right,
coracoid
there
bones
you
look like.
go. But
Boom.
it doesn't even have to be it doesn't even have to be the not like the things that we're missing. The other thing that these other specimens do for us is because no two fossils are identical to one another. There's a range, right? So the more information you add to that range, you're becoming more and more and more precise in terms of what I guess like what the standard is. You know what I mean? So it just it's more data. More data is good.
Yeah,
It is.
I agreed. And like the same thing happens with the Bible manuscripts, right? Or like just ancient manuscripts, right? Like let's say we find
Yes.
a
Yes.
manuscript of a work from like ancient Greece or something, right? And it's a previously unknown work, but it's not complete. And then later on, we find another partial manuscript. Chances are that the lacunae between the two aren't going to be exactly the same, and we're going to be able to complete we're going to be able to fill in some gaps between the two of them and get a more complete copy of the text. Same thing happens with fossils. I had to bring it around to like philology and textual analysis.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I even use
appreciate
lacunae. That's a nice word.
Yeah, that was a very good precise usage of lacunae.
Yeah, I don't just know about bones. I also know about other things.
Now, there are some that are more plentiful than others, especially like the Triceratops, a lot of Triceratops.
That is very true. There are so many damn Triceratops. It's crazy. I'll take a drink for that. He is very right
Really,
about that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
We just have
Why is that?
It's
I mean, maybe
honestly,
we don't know, but
we don't know
what's
exactly. But like big, and they probably lived in places that were conducive to fossilization, and they probably were a fairly common animal because they were very successful during their time. So
okay, yeah,
probably a combination of those.
So it'd be
them
like
just-
finding lots of. I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, it'd be like finding lots of where I live in the area here, lots and lots of different, millions of years from now, lots and lots of different fossils of deer.
Yeah.
Various
or the
species.
Canada jay,
deer.
the unofficial bird of Canada.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there is no official bird of Canada, which I feel like is a loss. You guys should work on that. Get an
That's
official.
interesting.
Get the
Is that-
Canada jay
wow.
officially recognized.
Well, I mean, you also kind of stole ours, didn't you? Feels like it.
I mean, to some extent, although it's not like bald eagles weren't common in the places where American colonies were turning themselves into the United States.
I guess that's somewhat fair.
Yeah, and it's not like
That
those
is
guys
all
were going
I
to have
know.
like psychic knowledge of the fact that there were even more bald eagles over in the Pacific Northwest. Like, how would they have that knowledge?
That's also fair. Yeah, true.
So,
Very
you know.
good. Okay.
But also, there's actually no rule that two countries can't have the same national bird. You just can.
Sure.
Now, at this point, after this many years, it would feel a little bit like copying the homework. But like, there's no teacher to impress. You could just do it. Although I like the
Yep.
Canada jay.
That's
Canada
true.
jay is cute and gray, and I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have them out here.
I think they're an East Coast thing mostly, but I'm not sure. I'm not positive.
I think so.
Well-
I don't know. I know very little about birds.
Now you have to
so
move to
little.
Nova Scotia.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But yeah.
There's one farm out in Montana that I know of that in one area,
It's Bice Ranch.
3,000 Triceratops fossils
Yeah, it's Bice
estimated.
Ranch.
They haven't been able to excavate them all, but now how do you get 3,000 animals covered up and buried quickly? I mean,
Well, given that Triceratops
Mm-hmm.
as a genus lived for a very, very long time,
Yeah.
and the 3,000 is a tiny fraction of the Triceratops who would have lived in that place at that time. Just normal everyday Triceratops dies, happens to be covered up by mud or washed out into a shallow
Mm-hmm.
sea, which also existed in that area. And over
Mm-hmm.
millions of years, yeah, that builds up to a few thousand Triceratops, especially given that they
So
were
is that
large and common animals.
a fair characterization that all fossils were buried quickly feel like we've been
No.
on this.
So the thing
Yeah.
that matters is the rate of deposition versus the rate of decay. The rate of deposition has to exceed the rate of decay sufficient that the decay of the animal or organism will not finish before permineralization can happen to preserve it, or some other method of preservation, even if it's like leaving a negative space inside the rock, which is also another kind of fossil that is not permineralized, just an impression in the rock, because that also happens. But there are places like the bottom of anoxic lagoons or under a sediment slump in a limey area in the shallow sea or something, where basically the rate of deposition per se can be very slow, but you can still actually get a very well preserved specimen. In fact, the best fossils tend to come from places that actually have slow deposition, but even slower decay. And a lot of these are the places that we've labeled like Lagerstätten, which are like peak level preservation. And so a lot of these are from places like one of the most famous ones is the Solnhofen limestone, which is where Archaeopteryx lithographica was found. And this was such.
Okay.
So the reason it's called Archaeopteryx lithographica is because the limestone there was used for lithography, where you take a stone and you carve something into it, right? And then you put some ink on top of that and you stamp it in a book. That's lithography. You can make pictures and whatnot, similar to wood cuttings. But one of the things about lithography is that the amount of detail that you can get in a lithographic carving can never be smaller than the grain size of the rock.
Right.
Which means the finer the grain size is, the better the rock is for lithography. And this Solnhofen limestone was exceptionally fine, which is why it was used for lithography. And one of the things about fine sediment is the finer the sediment, the longer it takes to settle out of the water column. Because the way that sediment settling out works is basically gravity has to win against Brownian motion. So water molecules are always just sort of jiggling about sort of randomly, right, as a result of Brownian motion, which is a result of their temperature. And the smaller an object is, the more likely a little jiggle of a water molecule is going to send it up against gravity to then slowly settle down. Now, eventually, any size grain will settle down because gravity is consistent, whereas Brownian motion is random. You're just as likely to go up as down, right? But the bigger the difference between those two forces tells you how fast the sediment will fall out. And tiny fine-grained limestone takes forever. So then we ask, well, okay, well, then how did so many organisms get buried in there? Because we got Archaeopteryx, we've got Pterodactylus, there's a bunch of different fish that have been preserved with pristine detail. And the answer is that the bottom of this lagoon that once was Solnhofen, Germany, was anoxic. There wasn't much oxygen out there. And most of the things that cause decay to happen rapidly require oxygen, whether they be macroscopic animal scavengers or aerobic bacteria. And at the bottom of an anoxic lagoon, all you have is anaerobic bacteria. And while they will decay things, they're slow because they don't use oxygen in their metabolism. So they only use anaerobic respiration, which is slower, which just means they live their lives more slowly. They digest things more slowly. And so, ironically, we say, oh, it has to be covered fast, but the slower the deposition is, the better the potential for the fossil is, because the reason that you can preserve things so finely is partly the same reason that the limestone was so good for lithography. It's because it's fine grain. And if you're looking at impressions, which is a lot of what we're getting for things like feather details and stuff on Archaeopteryx, you need that impression to be in the rock. And it can only be as detailed as the size of the grains for an impression, which is great in that particular place. And it had slow deposition, not fast deposition. So it's always a sort of a tug of war between decay and deposition. And overall, yeah, most fossils come from fast deposition because most places don't have such a slow rate of decay that slow deposition is sufficient.
Yeah.
So it's...
Yeah.
And the thing is, it has to be covered quickly. It's one of those things that's like a lie we tell the children, right? When you're learning about fossils in school, we don't have time to go into like anoxic lagoons and fine grain deposition and Brownian motion and all these things because the kids aren't ready for that. They're not going to understand it. So you just give them like the first order of magnitude level. Yeah. Like,
yes. Exactly.
Fast deposition. But like everything else, it's more complicated. Everything's always more complicated.
It's like this, this kind of reminds me of and in the stream that we were doing yesterday, we were watching a video lecture by Jason Lyle,
Oh
and
no, I'm sorry.
it was terrible. Yeah, he was suggesting that just because an animal has sharp teeth, it doesn't mean it just ate meat, right? This is his
Correct.
argument, and he starts showing pictures of other primates that have sharp teeth that also are just are just omnivores. The important term here being omnivores, because
Right,
he
that means
kept
they
on having
do
to
eat meat.
say yes,
Yeah.
mostly, but mostly vegetables, right? Just mostly.
Most
It's
omnivores
like,
have
my God,
vegetables as a
like
very significant, if not the majority of their diet. Like bears,
so this is
most bears eat more vegetable matter than they do animal flesh.
yeah, but they still,
They still eat meat.
they still eat meat. And this is another of these very cool things that I learned yesterday, is that what is it? Omnivory is actually a much more complicated development
Oh yeah,
from carnivory,
yeah, because it's
which
harder
I
to
just like, because
specialize.
I think we have this tendency, right? I've always had this tendency to default in the other direction for no good reason,
I think the reason is
honestly.
because you're omnivorous, so it seems like the default.
Probably. Yeah, right? Probably. So, but even if you went all the way to just vegetarian, I would be like, that makes sense to my, you know, tiny brain. So it was just neat. It was just neat to see that.
Also, with mammals, it's
Um,
more complicated because mammals have a
right.
number of different uses for their teeth, and often teeth
Yeah.
like
Yes, of
canines,
course. Yeah,
often
we talked
teeth
about
like
that
canine
too.
aren't even used for
Yeah.
food processing. A lot of times, they're just used
Yeah.
for defense and intraspecific combat, like territorial disputes and stuff.
Yep.
What you have to look
Yep.
at is things like the molars. So I've seen a creationist hold up a camel jaw with some pretty hefty canines and say, "Look at this horrible carnivorous monster. It's a camel." It's like, yeah, what do the molars look like?
I got a
Oh,
camel.
are
Yeah.
the camel molars like flat grinding molars for plant matter? I guess that's probably what it eats then. And lo and behold, yes, that is what camels eat. They grind up plant matter.
Yeah.
You need a local flood to do that kind of a thing, right? I mean,
Not necessarily.
Do
No.
you need a local flood to do that kind of
It
thing?
helps if you want to get, but also there's no reason to think all these
Like,
triceratops were killed simultaneously, which is the background assumption. He's
when
just
we're
importing.
speaking scientifically, need is one of those words, right?
Yeah, there.
It's what you have to be just very, very precise on your usage of language and terms, and this guy's just sloppy.
And I do want to be clear though, there are a lot of fossil beds that were created by local floods. That is a thing that's true. So, but do you need that to explain 3,000 triceratops estimated over the entire area of Beisch Ranch? No, you don't need that. You don't even need to assume that they were all killed simultaneously and buried simultaneously. That's an assumption that you're making, and I have no evidence to indicate that it's true.
No.
that's just one area. And by the way, that band, we know, extends all the way up through Canada. That's a massive amount of animals that were
Canada.
Unacceptable. No Canadian dinosaurs in my American Minecraft server. I say as if there's actually a big distinction between the fauna of like southern Alberta and northern Montana. There's basically no distinction. It's the same place. All right. Without, you know what though? That's we're gonna call it there for that.
We can call it there
with the
sure.
horrifying Canadian dinosaurs
I
amassing
was
along
about
the
to say
border.
we'll probably be, I was about to say we're probably picking on him on this point, but you know
bit,
what?
yeah.
Like screw this guy. Screw this
Exactly.
guy all the way, because I'm gonna pick at you about everything, because goddamn it,
yeah.
you deserve it. So.
All right. So I have some good news and bad news for the chat. Which one do you think I should start with, Kip?
The bad news.
The bad news is I am not doing a Star Trek watch party after this. So sorry about that. If you guys want to gather in the Discord server and watch something together, please feel free. But the good news is, it is because I have a whole bunch of stuff coming up today and tomorrow. And I just need to make sure I have some time to just decompress and not have to be like public facing at all.
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Yep. So later on today, in about a half an hour, I will be making public a video called Donnie Badinsky is permanently bitch made. Here's 4 hours about why. And it is indeed 4 hours of myself, Dan Stern Cardinal, Craig from FTFE, and Gutsa Gibbon, giving you pretty much with no overlap reasons why Donnie is a piece of shit, is bitch made, and is also just really, really, really dumb. Now, I will be honest. Not much. More than half of that is Erica, because Erica has never heard of brevity. And so when she went off on Donnie, she took like 2 hours to do it or something like that. I don't know exactly. It is an enormous video. And a lot of it is fairly old material. But then again, most of us haven't been interacting with Donnie lately. But we are explaining why we tend not to. And all of this was precipitated by the fact that Donnie wanted to do a doubles debate with Craig. And Craig decided that I should be his partner. At which point, Donnie backed out. And there's more from there. But yeah, Donnie was just like, no, I don't want to debate Dapper Dinosaur. So, yeah, check that out.
Like a bitch?
Oh, yeah, like a bitch. Hence, bitch made. And so, also, there's a bunch of cringy episodes in there from when he was a used car salesman, because in case you didn't know, he is in fact a failed used car salesman. So, yep, those are the skills that he brings to the table for Young Earth Creationism, is those of a used car salesman. And the funniest thing is that the science friends were talking about how much he seemed like a used car salesman about a year before we discovered that that was just true. He was in fact a used car salesman, which is just, it was just like the icing on the cake. It was like a miracle. Okay, so that's at about 2:30. Then later on today, I have to double check the time, so give me a second. I'll find out when it is. But later on today, I will be on Chesh's channel for Debate Pub. So that will be me and Manya and Landon and Chesh, and we will be discussing the news of the day. That'll be at 6 p.m.
7 Eastern.
Pacific, so 9 p.m. Eastern is when that'll be.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That does. I think that means that yours doesn't actually conflict, or if it does, is a small overlap with your thing, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll probably be going late enough that people can hop on.
Okay.
Probably.
So
yeah, we're definitely going on late enough that people will be able to hop on after.
Then tomorrow at, I believe, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, I will be on with Doc Dino, and we will be going through the full presentation that we attempted to give to Will Duffy, but then he got upset by the fact that science has methods.
Damn.
He didn't like that. He didn't like that. So we'll be going through that full thing. And that will mostly be Doc Dino's thing, but it will be on this channel for a couple reasons. One is to help drive some subscribers over to him, and also because apparently he's almost out of his free StreamYard time. So I'm donating some of my free StreamYard time.
Okay.
So that is the next few days. Then Tuesday will be Kent with Bent at the normal time. Then we have on Thursday the next Canadian Creationist gave me homework. That is going to be for a homophobe. Don Batten is pretty gay. In which Don Batten just seems really, 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 really gay for one person in particular.
Wait.
Which
this seems very common.
It is a little bit common for a whole bunch of homophobes to just suddenly become really, really gay for someone all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We actually talked about that with.
Well, we've noticed.
Yeah,
you guys.
I was on Chesh's channel actually earlier today, and we were talking about the fact that Asmongold was going on about like how hot Greek statues of men were, and how the average man is way hotter than the average woman, and it's like, Asmon, you can just go be gay, right? Like just be gay. It's fine. Just own it, right?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
why are you pretending to
Yeah.
be so straight? And then you're like, oh, look at all those really attractive statues of Ben. Oh, so much hotter. And he's like comparing men to like male birds and how much more attractive male birds are. And it's like, dude, take a shower and go hit the
This
gay
sound-
bar. It's
This
fine.
sounds amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So so then on Friday at 5 p.m. I will be there with Kip for Star Trek Adventures, the season premiere called Prism over on Top Hats Off. Yeah.
That's this Friday, right?
Mm-hmm. Got less than a week.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
check
Okay.
that out. And then Saturday, we still have more than a half an hour of this talk. So we'll be back. And
I think
hopefully Vish
is
will
gonna
be there. Yeah, I
back
think so.
next week, right? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a week. Kip, what do you got?
So tonight is Budget Scripture Saturday with my amazing co-hosts Nitty and Dr. Tapioca Weasel, my favorite astrophysicists in a trench coat, and it's just a fun show where we look at bad Bible videos, which very often will include a lot of really, really bad generative AI, and
Ugh.
I drink a lot, and things happen when I drink a lot. So come and check it out. It's super fun. I usually laugh my ass off. Sometimes I don't even remember what happened the next day. Yeah, so that is at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. So it'll probably almost certainly will still be almost certainly still going when the debate hub people are done. It's debate hub, right? Not debate pub.
Debate Hub is the channel.
right?
Debate Pub is the show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when the debate pub people are done, we'll almost certainly still be going. So come and check that out. And then I think it's just business as usual next week, which means Hebrew readings at my Kitty at Breach show, where we're going to continue through the book of Zechariah on Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. Dr. Dan McClellan was on my show this last week, which was really amazing because he brings his rather large viewership with him, and there were 150 people watching Dan McClellan and I read Hebrew text and parse verbs and translate it into English, which is kind of surreal, right?
I lurked a little bit in
So, did you?
Yeah.
Nice. And honestly, it was just a really, really good stream. I really like that one.
I got to start
so
a stream called Klingon Holartach.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure that we
You
get
and
that we
your
get at least
friend
120.
Chesh that you shot that your friend Chesh that you taught Klingon to can do it together.
Taught in a
so-
lot of air quotes.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. So then on Friday, I will be back as usual at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific on my channel for my regular weekly show. And Vish will also probably be back for that as well. So I know everybody missed her a lot. Ryan Kaltastic, who runs a fabulous channel, filled in for her, and I thought did an amazing job. But there is only one Vish, so she will be back. It's true. So, and I think that's it. I think that's it for me. And then Friday, I'll be back on Star Trek
as Lieutenant Vrelax, the one-handed Gorn.
That's right.
Who pretends to have royal clout, even though the Federation doesn't care. Yes,
I'm a Viscount. I am.
At least you don't say Viscount.
Viscount Lieutenant Vrelax. Yeah, because that would be like even more pretentious than.
Would it be more pretentious or just more dumb?
Is
I
okay.
think that's faux pretension.
Yeah.
All right.
It could be a couple things.
I do want to give updates. So, the computer is in the repair queue with the manufacturer, and I don't know how long that is, but it's with them now. And I don't have an ETA on when it's going to come back. So for the foreseeable future, I am using a laptop, and it kind of sucks. Not that it's a bad laptop, but like it's just not nearly as good as having my PC. Yeah. So I'm hoping.
Today went okay.
Yeah, today went fine. It's working out. It's not horrible. It's certainly less convenient. It's less flexible, but it's functional. It meets minimum functionality requirements. So, all right, with that, everybody, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much. I hope to see all of you over on Chesh's channel, unless you're over on with watching Kip. You got to pick one of those, though. You have to do one. You can't do neither. Not an option.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, you
yeah,
it's true.
you have to do one. You can also have both of them open
I
in different
agree.
tabs or on different screens.
Totally, that is totally fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one said you can't do that.
All right. Well, the last thing we have to say, of course, is that ICE must be abolished. Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Sealoof, Ben Tovand, Tapioca Weasel, Mikau Dominiak, Sammy LaFleur, Edwin M., Kenneth Swenson, John Ackerman, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon Knoll, Ian Chen, Eleron Teller, Phil Rivara, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Dan Sheedy, Pegajace, The Plastic Mouse, Gordon Loves Science, Amber Athelian, Prixie Purple, Agricola Sequa, and Me, Myself, and I. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.